Okay, so shooting at 25 yards. My pin setup is 4. Let's see, we'll have focus here. 20, 30, 40. And so just practicing basically shooting gaps specifically. So we're starting at 25. That's the second one to pull right, which begs the question, am I torquing or is this peep offer? What's happening there? Because that's off by a good bit. The other thing to note is, since this trip, I've already climbed in and out of the tree a couple times, and as I was pulling my bow up, it bumped this side a little bit. And so I gotta make sure that's all set. But tonight's the last sit before I leave, so I'm glad I'm doing this just to make sure. Because it could be the site that got knocked down. So man, part of me hopes something's wrong with the bow or the arrows, because it's not. That was not ideal. I don't know what is going off, but that's only at 25 yards. So I gotta I'm definitely glad I'm shooting before I go out tonight, but I think I'm gonna hang on to these two just to see if that was fluke, because the rest are pretty much in line, just a little off high and low. But these definitely went way. I was aiming for the middle on both of these, and those went so far to the right. The other thing is, by pin gapping, I really don't practice that very much at all, and honestly, it's evident that I should, just because. Yeah, the up and down here, the vertical differences between trying to put that green pin on these circles versus going like a little higher, a little low, makes a pretty big difference, even 5 yards. And I think I'm definitely going to shoot another round, just because I wonder how much of it is that I'm aiming. I actually am pulling that trigger, or I'm trying to pull and release with that green dot on the circle, just mentally, because I've practiced that so much, versus trying to visualize that gap between my 20 and 30, because that's a big enough gap. That's a 10-yard gap, and so if that's off a little bit to the point where I almost am inclined to set this for 25, I gotta figure this out. So that's my setup. I run 20, 30, 40, and that test really just shows why I need to practice more pin gapping, because I don't know if we'll focus on that, but let's see. So not a huge gap for any of them, especially not for the 20 and 30. I just hesitate to run a 20, 30, a 25, 35, 40, or even a 25, 30, just because I'm worried about that top and middle pin being a little too close together. And in the heat of the moment, I worried that those are going to blur and it's going to throw me off. So this just shows I need to practice more, or be thinking, and probably more experienced archers would probably have better insight on this, but I think maybe visualize bringing the green pin up a little bit higher or lower versus trying to aim for that vague kind of no man's land right there in the middle. So yeah, just gotta practice more. Okay, round 2, 25 yards, and pin gapping still, but I'm gonna try to use that green pin. Really is like that leading indicator versus the gap. So here we go. So those are all a little high and to the right, and I guess theoretically the site could be bumped, but I'm hesitant to move whenever they're like that, just because I don't know if that's me and my shoulder fatigue or whatever, or if that's actually the site being off a little bit. But I feel like that's a good enough grouping as far as up and down for them to all be slightly up and to the right. That makes me want to set it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bump it up, basically bump the site over just a hair, and see if that corrects that.